Time now, 6:45. 1,000 charities have written to Rishi Sunak calling on the government to tackle food waste. They think it could be a solution to some of the worry over shortages we're seeing on supermarket shelves just now. FareShare, who's coordinated the letter, says government funding could help those charities deliver 100 million meals a year. Ali Gourley is Public Affairs Lead at FareShare and joins me now. Ali, good morning.
Lisa, thank you for having me.
Good to have you on the line. Exactly how much food do we waste then in the UK? And are we talking about mainly household food waste or indeed supermarket and hospitality waste as well?
So we waste way more than people generally think at a farm level alone. So this is before it's even left the farm gate. We waste about 3 million tons of food every year. That's the equivalent of 7 billion meals. It's enormous. It's the environmental equivalent of having a coal-fired power station running for a year and a half with the energy going to nowhere. So it's a massive problem. FareShare focuses on redistributing surplus food from the food industry. So we don't really focus on household food waste. We focus on basically everything before the point of sale and redistributing that surplus food to the charity sector.
So how can it be tackled then? Is it more of a general awareness issue or is it a full-on public and, PR campaign that's needed?
It's basically a logistics problem. So the main barrier to redistributing surplus food is cost. Actually it's quite easy to get hold of surplus food that might be in a supermarket's warehouse. It's all packaged and palleted and so on. So we just send vans, bring it to our warehouses and source it. It's much harder when you're at a farm level because, it can be loose carrots, loose potatoes, all of that stuff. So what this government funding would allow us to do and what these 1,000 charities are calling for is money that would enable food businesses and farmers to make it cost neutral for them to redistribute their surplus. And it's literally just covering the cost to pick that food, to package that food, and then transport it onto charities via FareShare.
Let's talk a little more about the cost aspect, because there obviously is one, as you've just outlined, and it tackles, presumably, how does the food get collected, from where, who then deals with it, and who turns it into those meals which can then go very much to people who do need it.
Yeah, so we don't really turn it into meals. That is the charities who we supply. So it will be, charities that are running out of your local village hall or your local community centre. It can be food banks, but also like debt advice services. There are brownie troops who have signed this letter. I mean, there's even an entire page of churches on the letter. These charities really are the fabric of British society. And they're the ones who are sort of plugged in the local community. We are the people who handle the logistics. We've got the warehouses. We've got the army of volunteers who do everything from driving forklift trucks to driving vans to deliver this food. So the point of the process that we're looking at is getting that food from the farm to our warehouse.
Just finally then, any sense that ministers will heed the call, and also in the background, are you having conversations on it with those in charge?
We are, and there are senior conversations happening in government at the moment, and I'm hoping some of this positive media coverage today will focus the mind. I mean, everyone. I've been meeting Tory MPs all this week, or next week as well. We'll be meeting them, and most people think it's a no-brainer. There is actually a huge amount of goodwill towards this. It's one of those great policies that benefits, rural communities because, the farmers are the beneficiaries of this funding essentially, and they don't want to see their surplus food go to AD or rot. They want it to go and feed people. So it benefits rural communities and it benefits urban communities as well because they receive the food. We've been talking to people. What we'd really like is a meeting with a minister before the budget. I mean, I appreciate ministers' diaries are incredibly tight. So if anyone in the corridors of power is listening to this and they're a special advisor or something along those lines, we'd really welcome a meeting with them. I think we're at the sort of stage where we can just get this done. We trialed it in 2018, 2019. It's proven that it works. We're experienced with dealing with this sort of level of funding. So, let's just do it. Budgets in 2 weeks. Let's get it done.
Look, sounds like a great idea. Ali Gourley, appreciate you taking us through the details so early this morning. Thank you, Public Affairs Lead there at